it's Antoinette here, welcome back to my channel, and this is my January reflections on my tarot journaling. What's in my journals, what did I get up to, and what cards did I use? Quite a few. Happy Imbolc to everyone. It is the 1st of January today, so I do have a candle here burning to bring in the light of the year. I have some crystals in there as well, and including actually, there's a little dragon in there, which is quite cute because he goes with my Flickering Cauldron diary, as the theme in here is dragons this year as well. And it's my first month in my Kinbor, so this was like a £12–13 journal. It's dot grid, gorgeous smooth paper. I think it might be 70 GSM, it's definitely not an 80 anyway. It does what it says on a tin, and it lays flat when you're using it, which is the thing that impressed me the most for the cost of this. And I highly recommend it. If you want a journal you don't need to be precious about and that doesn't cost the earth, go grab yourself a Kinbor, because here in the UK, the Stylo cost a bit more. So I think when I was looking at them, they were like 30 quid. Or I can use this. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy Stylo. I had a half-year one, and I do like the feel of it when you're flipping back through. There's a crinkle to paper. But, you know, I rarely flip through unless I'm looking for a spread. So that's fine. If we start with the Flickering Cauldron's Moon Diary for 2023. I love this diary. I am aware that the Royal Mail postage strikes have created havoc for everyone, especially in this country, trying to send things out to other countries. So if you ordered one of these, just I ask you to be patient, because I think one of the creators in this country who's done a deck has only just been given the all clear to start creating labels to post again from Royal Mail. And what date are we? It's 1st of February. I mean, honestly, we had a cyber attack basically, and it put all of our postal system into complete disarray, and they couldn't do anything about it. What a way to start January. So you've seen I've done a flip through of this diary, so as I'm starting the year, I'll just show you a quick, like, all the pre-information that's in here, which is what I like about these diaries. You know, I'm no astrologer. I love the basicness of this. It's on my level. This speaks my language. The zodiac moons, and the artwork is always gorgeous. And then we come into January. Now, I did buy some tabs, so I have tabbed mine to the months so I can find them easily. And I've got some other like removable tabs there for pages I want to find as I'm going through for tracking. And you get this year, so we have the monthly setup. So my monthly setup, my monthly overview of cards is here, not in my main journal. So it saved me some time. I don't have to draw this page out every single month, which did leave me a little bit, what do I do? So we shall see what I did. So this has been quite nice, and it has forced me to reduce the amount of wording, because my keywords were becoming phrases and lyrics. And so they were expanding into more than they should have been. The point was for me to track keywords or create keywords as well. So for Capricorn, we have Brenna the Dragon, I do believe. Yeah, born between the 22nd of December and the 20th of January. Colour is black on our Capricorn Dragon. There's some information there about them. Gemstones for this month, the mystical stone of emerald, and we have the herb of basil. So did I use basil this month? How did I incorporate that into my practice? I did have some basil. I definitely used it in the kitchen when I was cooking. I think I used it in an oil, actually, in my burner. I think I did drop some into my oil burner. But I haven't made a concerted effort to use basil, to be fair. I love mint and eucalyptus, so for most of my month it has been mint and eucalyptus, refreshing the air. So we have the healing crystals information, using them, and then talking about January's healing dragon, Tiger's Eye, here. And then, as you can see, the extension of my card pulls of the day comes over here, and this is where I expand on what I've got. So this one here, we have the wheel, and I had that song from David Bowie, Changes. So that was the first thing that came to my head, connecting the dots to create. So, and my kind of warning for this was, watch the words today. They will easily be taken the wrong way, because I think we're in the thick of the Mercury retrograde there as well, if I remember rightly. And everyone was a little bit delicate, shall we say. I continue to miss a few days here and there, but that's no problem. I still didn't find out how to track the winds. So anyone out there know of how to track the wind's directions locally to where we live, please let me know in comments. Would love to know how to do that easily without having to get a weather vane and work out what way's north. I have a rough direction, but not anything. And then we have the micro wolf moon, and there was this beautiful recipe here for a bath soak. And then we just carried on, and then we have some information here talking about having a dragon as your spirit guide, and things you may come across or connect to, or discover about having one. And then we just carry on through a little information there about the new supermoon that we've just had in January, and kind of explaining why you wouldn't use a new moon to banish or release or get rid of certain things. So that's quite nice. There's basic information there for people that want to learn to work with moons and don't know, what they're doing. And then, of course, just carrying on through. And then I love this little quote at the end on the yesterday. It simply isn't an adventure worth telling if there aren't any dragons. That's one by J.R. Tolkien. And then we've got the notes pages, and then we've got like budget pages. So I do have like a wish list there. I have one there which I don't want to show you because it shows you how outrageous I was with my spending. And I kid you not, I think I bought 10 decks. That's why I started writing it down. But writing it down meant I spent more. How weird is that? And then the other thing that I've done is I've created an A4 tracker instead of like trying to buy all the other diaries. So I've just listed loads of stuff down here that I want to track, and I just go through and tick them so that I can see what's going on, and then I can take those to, I don't know, the GP or wherever I need to go when I need to see them. And then we're into February. So I haven't done today's card pull, but I shall after I've done this. Let's take a look at my journals. So closing out December, I was using up this old freebie that came to me, kind of like a traveler's notebook style, if you like. And I did my guide into 2023, which is here. And I always do that. It's always in the closeout of my journal. But I thought it'd be quite nice to move into my current journal. So what I've done is I've taken a picture of this. I don't have a printer at the moment, but I want to put this, as it is, this size, onto an A4 Word document, just enlarge the picture to make a document. And then I have a spread in here, there, which I want to stick it into. So I've got it in the front page of my journal. So going into my journal, I have, so I found these 3 pictures, which I've been carrying around since I was about 14, and decided that this is the time to stick them into the journal. I love this one. This is probably why I don't stick things in, I don't use them. I'm kind of like a magpie and I keep them. But then what I used to do is I had an art folder, and I used to tuck them into like the plastic inserts of my art folders, and they would sit in there, and then I'd change them out. So I think that's why I don't like, I don't like using things. I don't like permanently using or damaging things. So, but these are permanent. I decided it's time to make them permanent. And I've just entered, we're into 2023. So I was trying to get the letters to grow from the ground like abstract trees, and kind of join them together. And then my word for this year is going to be discernment. Discernment, like with balance, basically. And here's what I'm doing now is my front pages to my journal. So I only need one side. I don't need like a big spread. So this is new, which means I get to do a bit of collage and a bit of prettiness. And I'm just writing in nice big words my tarot card and my oracle cards that I've pulled previously on my birthday spread for the year ahead, and then listing the decks onto them. And that's it. That's all I'm doing. So as I said, that will be my 2023 guide. Then I started the month completely with a 30-day tarot challenge to get to know my deck, and the deck was the Wildwood Tarot, and it was Mind, Body, Soul as my card pulls, and I just drew up my grid for 30 days, which I've done before, and then wrote down how I feel that the cards might represent in everyday life, and gave myself like, something to do each day with the cards. So it's very similar to one that I did previously with Avalon Cameron, but we changed it up, and this one was done in a Facebook group. So very plain and simple, boxed off. The idea was not to spend too long on these, and I think I used the same pen all the way through actually, and I just did that. I haven't done my wrap up yet, so I'll sit down probably later today and do my wrap up for the 30-day challenge. But actually it was really interesting, and it's a nice way to get to know a deck. But because I have my own other practice going on, this on top of my current practice actually sort of makes it a bit longer. It's like I need more time to do this. So sometimes I pull the cards, just write them in, and then I'd have to come back in the evening and actually write it up. So there was that, trying to fit that in with my morning card pulls and everything else going on. Then I had a Wednesday, obviously. So I've just run in a Wednesday wisdom, and I wanted to know what I am missing. So I used an oracle card for this, and it was the love spell. I just put here like, quality time, because at that point in time we were all really busy. Everything was kind of going awry in life, so it's like quality time with loved ones and families. And then just journaled about the card and things down here. And these are all sticky bits that I've got in here, and I was kind of like struggling. I'm still struggling with how you get to read what I'm writing over the pictures. And then we have our first actual week ahead spread here, starting on Monday the 2nd of January. I've got some doodles gone in. So here's my 3-card layout, which was very reminiscent of what I was doing last year, I think, and maybe the year before. So I've gone back to doing it that way, and I'd started moving into this, I think, at the end of last year as well. Find a week ahead. No, so I was doing it that way, and then I thought I had reintroduced that spread. Yeah, so I had brought it back towards the end of the year. And this is how it's been for this month, really. So I've been doing it this way. So a little bit about each card, because you don't need to write loads. And then if I want to wrap up, I can wrap up here with them. So leaving that space. And then my Oracle weekly card up here and a weekly reflection. Sometimes this was just one card. Sometimes it's answering questions. Sometimes it was a couple of cards. It just really I went with, what do I have time for and what am I feeling? I did a wolf moon spread for the full moon in Cancer in January. And this is the moon spread by moi. Very proud of this one. Actually did a spread. And my questions for this one, which I think are recyclable for most full moons, to be fair. What is cluttering up my life right now? What is cluttering the energy of my home? What needs to be shifted in me to change these aspects of clutter? What is the best way to release this energy, because you don't need it? And what do I need to embrace to create changes and bring a happier and calmer energy into my home and self? So you've got your release and your embrace. And then how can I maintain moving forwards these things? So that was really quite interesting. But that's the only one that I've done so far. And then we have another week ahead spread, and Martin used to be Martin's Intuitive Readings. What's he called himself now? Anyway, if I remember, I'll link him below. Reminded me that you can paint over these with a white medium, and that's exactly what I did. So he did a journaling, how to journal and layer video for me to show me what he does and how he writes over them. And he reminded me of the medium, I can't remember what it's called, not Mod Podge, the other one. You'll shout it at me. So I did, so I just painted over, and then I was able to write over the pictures, and you can still see the pictures through the medium. So that was like light bulb. So that was quite nice to be able to do. And again, I've got like doodling, so stickers, and then carrying through the doodle colours as we're going in. And then here I've just written words that felt linked to what was going on here. And my reflections was questions. What did I miss? And what do I need to take with me into next week? And we were using the Nicoletta Tarot and Oracle and the Earthly Souls Spirits. I think I used as a top layer to that one. And we had a little bit of an artistic moment, an artistic flair here. The universe is full of magical things. So that was that moment of making this book mine and whatever I want it to be. And I did do from April over at Tarot and Witchery. She had a moving forward spread, which she's got a video to. And again, if I remember, I will try and link that down below as well. So she actually has done this spread, run it out and like talked through it. So it was a really nice one to watch being done. And I decided to write it into my journal and give it a go. So it's a 5-card spread. And so if you go over to her channel, you'll be able to see what she does, because she gives it all away, and you can sign up to her emails, and then you can get these as well sent through to you via emails. And she's got another really interesting one this month for in bulk. I haven't copied that one in yet, but I'm tempted. I did do the Path spread with Ginger Faye and Divine Musings. So again, pop across to her channel. And this was like a joint effort. So I think monthly, she tries to do like a spread. She has a guest on, and then we do like she has questions that she develops or comes from a book, and then she kind of annotates them. And then we all kind of pull together, and then you can go across to her group and post your spread and share what you got. So that one was really nice to do. So the Path spread was a combo spread inspired by MJ Cullinan's book for the spread, and it was 5 cards. I think she added another card, and I did leave a gap here because I meant to write the intention behind the spread. I just haven't come back to do that yet. And then we have another week ahead spread, so doodling is back for one day only. So I doodled my reflections card into this one, and that was obviously an oracle card. So that one was the Earthly Souls and Spirits Moon Oracle here, and then my main spreads was Nicoletta. This spread I've done a video on, so I will, again, if I remember, link it below. But this is from, if you want to pop over to see Giselle's channel, and that is the Mad Witch channel on YouTube. She did a soul path spread, and there is a video talking you through it as well. I'm sorry if you can hear my stomach. And she's got like kind of 3 questions with different aspects to the question. So you have your main questions, you have a second question to go with your main question. And, you can, I don't think you're limited to how many cards you put down, but this seems to be how she did hers. So I kind of followed her general layout. And then you put an oracle down for each question. And she had this amazing setup of cards. And I think it was, have I not written them down? No, I haven't. I think it was like 6 decks, basically. That was 1 deck, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I used 6 decks. And she inspired me because she had the most amazing setup. She laid them out, and the spread looked beautiful. And I had I think I had 5 of the 6 decks. I just changed up 1 deck to something that I had. So that was what really kind of drove me to do this. Now, when I was doing this, it became really, really thought-provoking. So I do advise people having a go at that one. And then have another week ahead spread, feeling a little bit black and dark here. The energy, because I'd come out of a tough week prior. So this is obviously where I was feeling, not looking for a lot of fanciness in my spreads. And we have my reflections for the week, lesson and take it forwards. And other than that, it's really quite simple. Now, Longman Tarot, who's also on YouTube and has a Facebook page, if you want to follow his morning readings, is studying the Ogham trees or runes system, and he started creating spreads to go with it. So he had the birch spread, which is coming out of December into January, and then the rowan tree spread, which started on the 21st of January and goes to the 17th of February. So that's why they're both in here. So I put them together. So the birch spread, so he has a little kind of prayer or intention, and this one's a 4-card spread, and there is a pattern, of course, which I believe matches the pattern that would be on the rune for the tree, if I've got that right. But I know that the Oghams have different markings, and that's why this one looks different again. So for the rowan tree, again, we have a little intention, the questions for the spread, and then I've just journaled my feelings about them. And I was using the Wildwood Tarot for these. It felt right to do these spreads with the Wildwood Tarot, and then I've just drawn a little like mantra bead there, and they're supposed to be rowan berries. And then we have this week. So normally I would have drawn this into my next month, but I've decided not to because it starts on Monday the 30th. So I'm still in January, and I'll finish up and then I'll come back and put my reflections in here. And yeah, I've gone back to boxes. And then we are into February. So that is my main tarot journal. Well done for sticking with me. I suppose, do I do this bit now quickly? Because people always ask me what I'm using to write in these. This is just basic felt tips. For the most part of this month, I have used 2 pens. So I've used my drawing pen, so my art pen, my Tradio Stylo, oh dear, my stomach, and this Sparker pen, which has writer's blood ink in it. It's got a massive thing in there to fill. So this is what I've been using, and I can't open it because you do it here, so it twists, undoes here. So it's like a, I don't know what you call that, some fancy fillings mechanism. So you drop it into your ink cartridge, you turn, and then you twist back down, and it basically, that whole thing there fills with ink. So it's good for people who like to write lots and not refill lots. And then these disposable fountain pens, I think I called them refillable by mistake in my last video. They are disposable, but again, they are just full right through to the end. So I've had this maybe for a year and a half, like a set of 6. I still haven't used any of them up. This one I use in one of my other journals quite a bit. It's got beautiful blue ink in it. Tombow. Erasable pens. You can never not have an erasable pen. So it's got a magic bottom, as I call them. So these, just a little black erasable. They kind of come out grey, to be honest. They're not the best pen for scratch tips. And I've got another another erasable pen here. Same thing. So magic bottom. And again, some of my most favourite pens are these ones. What do I call these? Once upon a time. So Hong Diang Forrest series fountain pens. So we've got the black one. These are just really nice. They're completely metal. They're posted. They've got a really good weight to them. To start with, I couldn't put the lid on, but now I find these really comfortable to write with. And they've got just really nice nibs. I mean, for a £17 fountain pen, I love them. I love the colours as well. There are so many colours that these come in. And of course, they've all got different coloured inks in. Well, that one's got writer's blood in. And that one's got writer's blood in. Because it's my favourite ink. So there you go, there's those. Should we have a look at some decks for a moment, shall we? I think these are getting more and more rambly. Is that like the general consensus? I feel like they're getting more rambly. Or I've lost focus, I don't know. So I did work with these. I got this one secondhand. I bought it off a lovely lady in a tarot group. So I now have this one, which I was wanting to go with this one. Actually, I got them both from her, sorry. I've had the mini of this for years and wanted the big version. And she was selling some secondhand decks, so it made sense to buy them. So I decided to get the two together, which she very kindly let me have. And these are these backs are just gorgeous. And they have guidebooks for this one. And it's not a very, I can't even remember how many cards are in it. It's like maybe 30 cards in the Oracle. And then we have these. So what, as you know, what I normally do, so it's usually a kind of 3 card spread for me with these. And then you get an Oracle to go with as my kind of message. And the artwork wise for these, it does go really nicely, like really nicely, obviously, because it's the same creator. And, you know, it just, to me personally, made sense. But there was another reason why I wanted this deck, to be honest, because I had, not this deck, there's another deck, sorry. I bought a second deck to go with this deck a bit sooner than I would have normally purchased. But yes, I have bought a second deck to go with this one because I already have this one now. And I saw somebody share a way of working with it, which intrigued me. So I want to have a play. So I think I'm going to have plays this year with decks. And on one of my spreads, I needed to clarify because sometimes these didn't give me enough. And that's why I have a second deck to go with these, to be honest. But I didn't have it at that point in time. I'd started working with this, realised I couldn't understand it, and then bought the second deck. And I had this one, had arrived finally, which had been on back order. So the Earthly Souls and Spirits Moon Oracle by Teri Foss. And I would occasionally put one of those in with it just to kind of clarify what was going on. Because, you know, I like to add more, and it brought a very different vibe. I think this kind of grounded, whereas these are a bit whimsical, maybe sometimes too whimsical. This just was like the kind of adult card for me, adulting the spread, even though they were beautiful colours. I didn't really use the guidebook. I don't really use the guidebook for the tarot. I just go with the general meanings on tarot, and obviously whatever else my intuitive hit is with the card itself for these. So I find that works well for me. But colour-wise, they kind of went really well. So these don't have words on them, they just have numbers. So you could run a numerical system on these if you wanted to. But let's just have a little look at number 2. The guidebook has different languages in it. These are Los Scarabeo. This is US Games. So number 2 is about distraction. So we've got distraction, and then we've got luminous to highlight the issue going on in distraction, I think, is how I would look at this. And that's interesting, because if I'm being distracted, why am I being distracted? And I need to look at what that is. And then I've got luminous telling me, yeah, you need to, you know, pay attention. Or is it that your distractions are things trying to get your attention? So, yeah. So that's how these went. I just think as a kind of visual, they were just so pretty. And this is where I regretted not being able to take pictures and stick them in my journals, actually, was when some of this was happening. I mean, look, what a great teddy bear coming in. I don't know if she's, well, she looks like she's hiding, actually, but also that reminds me, it does go quite nicely with adventure. You could be off on a teddy bear's picnic. But yeah, these were just, I don't know, they felt really nice, cozy spreads. And I just thought these would be really nice to have a picture of, stuck in my journal to remind me that this is what, see, I like working with different decks. This is what I like, is the visual representation on the table. And it was just that moment of, I'm not going to have that visual representation for these, like how they looked together. So, never mind. But that was how these really got used. These two were basically always together for this month. This one got used again, so as a second to the Nicoletta, but also on its own. I did use it on its own, and sometimes I used it with my daily pulls. So my daily card pulls was the Lily White Tarot, and again, this came in my bundle of secondhand decks. So it's the secondhand one that I got, and this is by Celia Mellisville, and it's from, I'm guessing, like the limited run of 1,000. So this was really nice because I like this deck a lot, and it's obviously the white one. There is a black version, I think. So this is Lily White, and I think there's a Lily Black, and these went really nicely together visually. Bring you in. So if I just wanted an addition to this, there was this. And this is what I mean now when I say that my practice started to get a bit full this month with the other 3 card pulls as well on top. because this card fed into the other 3 cards I pulled for Mind, Body and Soul, but without, you know, wanting to overcomplicate things, because sometimes it's just nice to have like the 2 cards because it just looks so pretty and I like to use all my decks. I cannot lie. I just really enjoyed these. We've got our Celestial Being and our Full Nature with our Knight of Wands. So the knights in this deck are kind of torsos and sunshines. The pages have hearts and the kings and queens have different number of prongs to their crowns. Took me a little while to work out the symbols and what I was looking at. And they also have candles, just to, for anyone working with this deck. So I think I realised that the page with the heart at the top has 1 candle, the knight has 2 candles, queen has 3 candles, and the king has 4 candles. So it's again another representation or whatever their suit is of things that's going on. So for air, they're incense sticks, which I love the representation of. There's our incense sticks. We have an air card here. And this is our Queen of Air, I think, is it? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yep, I believe that's our Queen of Air. Queen of Pentacles, 1, 2, 3. So you get the idea then on how you're checking out your representation. Oh, we have a page. And another queen. So she's got, is that a queen? Or a king? I need to get the other one out to have a look. But yeah, so I really, really enjoyed the messages, and the artwork in this is beautiful. I would really like to have the Lily Black. I would love to own the Boo Tarot and the other one that she's got with the foxes in. I can't remember the name of it, but I actually really quite like her artwork. So, only problem is they cost too much money to get to UK. It's so sad. So if anyone knows again of a way of reducing the taxes and costs, not in the next 3 months though, please let me know. So yeah, really like working with these as my daily pulls. The artwork on this was just very calming and serene and not cluttered would be one of the words. The cards are not cluttered in this. Like perhaps this might be, I might choose to call this a cluttered card. It goes right up the edges of the borders. It's very colourful. There's lots going on, plenty to see. Beautiful artwork. So we have those. Now my 30-day challenge was with the Wildwood Tarot. I did use the guidebook because I don't know this deck. I'm not familiar with it. But this is the one that comes in the box with 2 parts. And 1 second. I watched somebody else trying to do this the other day and they like fumbled as well. I'm like, oh, it's catchy. So here we go. So Mind, Body and Soul, I'd lay out together. I didn't add to these usually. It was just what I saw. So the deck has a slightly different feel about it. We have arrows for air. We have the bow for wands, vessels for cups, and stones for pentacles. And the court cards are animals. So King of Cups is a heron. And then we also have keywords on the minors. So 9 of arrows, we have dedication. Your normal 9 of arrows or 9 of swords would be that person in the RWS deck on their bed with their head in their hands in the dark looking, you know, very despaired. So the challenge here is using the keywords to link you into the card, to travel into the card and understand what's going on, and then to put that into perspective. And now I found this deck actually, once I got the guidebook out, it's got some beautiful, it's written beautifully. This is a really good guidebook. It has like some good kind of, so you have like your reading points, and in the reading points, I found it made me really think about what's going on. And some of the cards have like here in our minors. So we have, when we're reading, so we have our reading points. As a person in your life, what might this card represent? As an aspect or process, what might it be representing for you? As an event or a happening? And questions. So for the Page of Vessels, or do we have one down here? Let's get the King of Vessels. So for the King of Vessels, the question, where is tolerance needed? Who is depending upon your support? And what is your loving duty here? And you've got your keywords down here, tracks and pathways. And all these cards link into a form of Wheel of the Year, which is in this book as well. So this book is really extensive. There's loads of information in here. I haven't even begun to touch on this. And Washi, on Drag Washi's Tarot, is doing, she started last night, so she's doing a Wheel of the Year, or sorry, a year in the Wildwood kind of like challenge. So she's going through, she's going to study the Wildwood, and you can join in with that. So she's linked the cards that they're going to be doing for the next up to May, is it, or April, I think she's got the cards down for, all in her bio on her video for this. And again, if I remember, I'll try and link it below, so you can like follow along. And then she has guests on live to talk about them. But just as a general, it was a really interesting deck to use for doing, you know, mind, body, soul, and specific action points for each thing. So we have our Queen of Bows, we have a hare, our wheel, so it's like see somebody on a loom actually making something, and we've got stones there as weights, doing it by the waters. We've got like lots of elements here. You've got your moon, your sun, we've got some, oh, are they oaks? I think that looks like, no, maybe it's some berries growing. I was going to say some baby oak leaves there growing, but we have the King of Stones. So the deck is beautiful. The art is not what you might be expecting. We have our hooded man, who's the front cover, so that's our hermit. Yeah, like 10 of arrows for instruction, like where are you going next, like how are you aiming your life, you know, what direction are you heading in. Breath of life for the ace of arrows, that was really, really interesting. I love this boredom for 4 vessels, like that's a great depiction. 9 of stones, here we have tradition, so you've got somebody being very traditional about their practice and what they're up to, and it looks like we've got some stones behind him of some form of sacred circle, and he's got his antlers on, and he's definitely connecting into the earth. He has a snake, and he has oh, there is a word for that, isn't there? It's not an boreal. It's not an it's not aurora borealis or an ouroboros. It's oh, it reminds me of like Celtic jewellery. Actually, it's probably a rattle. After I've gone through all that, because I haven't had that card come up, so I haven't actually read about him. Heavy blasted oak and vessels of boredom. The journey, those are fulfillment. Love this journey card. Don't know why, but just artistically depicting, really like it. Had that one a few times. Okay, I'm definitely going on far too long, aren't I? So these decks came in, as I said, I knew I was going to buy them this year, but I wasn't planning on buying them quite so soon, but I did. Oracle of Mystical Moments, Tarot of Mystical Moments. Use these in that spread by yourself for your path spread, soul path spread. They do come with guidebooks. I have done walkthroughs of these because I wanted to get in to use them for that particular spread rather than pop them on my shelf waiting for me to use them. And together they, again, like the Nicoletta, it's kind of like, why wouldn't you put these together? These are beautiful cards to read together. I just think these are amazing. The guidebook will give you some information on what's going on in the cards. So they're nice, short and sweet. For the tarot. So this is the tarot guidebook. So you've got your upright, reversed, and a little bit about how the image in the card is linking to what's going on. So if we just look at the 8 of Swords, because that's what's below us. So here's our 8 of Swords. A human angel with large wings is trapped inside a birdcage surrounded by 8 trees and stand like sentinels guarding him. The angel is crouched and bent over in despair. In his desperation to escape, he is unable to analyse his situation, although he could easily flee from the prison. Through the open top, he is unable to see a way out and remains confused and powerless. So that's a really interesting way of putting that card. Quite like that. But the real reason why I bought this deck was to go with the Nicoletta. So let's just have a play with that and see what comes out. By the way, I love this deck. I love the artwork. I didn't think I needed it, but I do. So if we just get this one. So the idea is the keyword on this should explain this. So I don't know if it's going to work for me, but it was working amazingly for the person that had this deck. I guess in many ways it kind of does, doesn't it? So she's sat on a throne in the middle of a chessboard. We've clearly got a fight going on, and here we have Protective Nest. The Night Ride. Do you see what I mean? So this alone may not give me everything I need to know, but the Night Ride might. We won't talk about that mix. Maybe this is going to be saucy for me. So here we have like a bird, but again we have like the interesting aspects of all the blue. She's got the big white wings, and we've got the big floaty skirt here, so there are elements here that definitely link together. I'd like to think she's rescuing this person. Who knows? But this is what I want to play around with. I just want to see. Obviously I haven't shuffled them in together with the intention of working together yet. I think that does make a difference to what we see. So we have Lorelei, and don't they look like? Abracadabra. So yeah, I'm going to see what happens with this, see what they do for each other. Stranded, she definitely is in her little tower, surrounded by bees. Change of seasons. Yeah, so I think that's going to be interesting. Let me know if you have these decks. Have a go at playing with this and tell me what you think about the combination of those two. Is it working? Does it work? How do you find the Nicoletta? Have you written keywords on it? That's the next thing I might do, is write on it. haven't done that. Now, the other thing that came in was the Earth Angels message cards by Amanda Clark, which is 70 affirmation cards. Amanda's a British, well, she's in England, so yeah, British, based artist. And these are just designed to reconnect you to the natural world. The idea is you can take them out with you, out and about, and just connect to the world, the cards around you, read the cards while you're out and about, give you some kind of insights. And her work is all inspired by the wilderness and the woodlands. And this is printed by Five Kings Press. I think everything I've shown you today, apart from the Lily White Tarot, is all available on Amazon through the correct publishers. Definitely got this on Amazon, although it came from a shop that was selling on Amazon that's based in England, so it came from like a spiritual shop. And these cards are really very sweet. They are tiny, they fit in the hand, they're kind of pocket size, but because it's 70, there's lots there, it's like a tarot deck. There are 3 colours on the bottom, so we have blue, green and brown, so not quite seasonal per se, but they are beautiful. So you have like the observer, and this artwork is just gorgeous on this card. And then on the back, it tells you have an affirmation for your card and a little bit. So the observer, angels are watching over you. Relax and allow a space to open between thoughts. Observe from a quiet distance and make no harsh judgments on yourself or others at this time. Discernment may be needed for certain situations to be able to walk your path with wisdom and clarity. And the affirmation, I can observe without judgment. And discernment is my word of the year. So we have the observer. I do like to watch. I'm a people watcher. Not necessarily a people pleaser, but a people watcher. I have the amber light. So like I say, the art in this is really, really pretty. I like the fact that it's on the back, so I don't have to thumb through a guidebook. Because they're small, it doesn't bother me so much with these, because when they're in your hands, I don't know, when I'm shuffling these, that just kind of feels like a back to the card. Because I'm not familiar with what's on the other side, perhaps. It doesn't bother me, but I don't like to see, usually, what's going on. Maybe my perspective is changing, and maybe I'll be able to work with... that's interesting, shuffle it right back onto the top. Yeah, so maybe I'll be able to start working with some of my other double-sided decks without having that issue. So the artwork is really pretty. But yeah, so this one, so I've just been pulling like the odd card every so often when I'm in the kitchen. Wanted a little bit of inspiration, I'll just pull a card and see what it has to say to make me smile. Now back to, so I saw these, somebody did a desk tour, and I saw these in their desk tour. Bring it out a little bit. They are candles, but they're plastic, of course. And I managed to get a pack of 6 on Amazon. I was just in awe. So they take 2 AA batteries. So it's a battery candle, if you haven't guessed now. But it's just, they were so pretty and decorative. Let me just get my screw to line up. And then when you turn them on, I don't know if that's going to show because it's sunshine coming in. But kind of flickers and flashes. So I thought these are really good for travel. I love the fact that they've got all this drippy wax on them, Halloween, and they do stand up. You can pop them into, if you've got a taper candle holder, they should stand in most taper candle holders. I mean, they're not thin tapered candles, they're, you know, quite chunky taper candles, so it would depend on what size yours takes. But I thought, what an amazing tool to have for just carrying around, traveling, not having a fire hazard in the house. And of course you can get rechargeable batteries. So yeah, they came from Amazon. I think they were £8, like they really weren't very expensive. Love that. A couple of books that I got. I did show these on my desk tour. So I have the Imagine a Forest book, art to kind of, you know, go through like how to draw your little bear. So some basic shapes, how to get from there to there. Cats. Bird in the Forest. I got it really for this kind of an inspiration book. I just love this type of art. Very inspiring. And some of these you might start to notice from the page that I drew into my tarot journal. So I took lots of inspiration and shapes and things out of here to put into my tarot journal. And then I had How to Be a Wildflower by Katie Daisy. I keep saying Katie Flowers, Katie Daisy. And this one is just full of quotes and pictures. And this is where I got my thing about the universe being a magical place. There we go. It's an Eden Philpotts quote. The universe is full of magical things. And that was where I got this from. So that was how we got to my picture in here. That was how we got there. Was with those 2 books. So I'm very thankful. I'm so sorry this has gone on forever. I hope I haven't bored the living daylights out of you, but please do let me know in comments any of those decks, how you're working with them, how you find them, what your favourites are to pair with them. Will you try out any of the spreads? Definitely would love to know if you head off to check out the spreads and update your own journals. And I will see you in the next one. So take care all. Bye-bye.